Sometimes schools informally exclude students with individualized education programs, or IEPs, without invoking the school's formal disciplinary procedures. Most often, this happens when schools require a parent to pick up their child early from school because of behavior, but the school fails to count this early send home as a formal suspension. The most important takeaway of this video is, if the school is requiring a parent to pick their child up from school under these circumstances, it is a suspension and all of the normal discipline protections for students with and without IEPs apply.
Informal exclusions include any action taken by school personnel in response to a child's behavior that excludes the child for part or all of the school day or imposes unreasonable conditions or limitations on the child's continued school participation. These exclusions are considered informal because the school removes the child from class or school without following formal disciplinary procedures.
Informal removals are subject to federal law to the same extent as formal disciplinary removals. So when a student is subject to informal removals that constitute a significant change in placement, meaning over 10 days of removal, the school must comply with the IDEA and Section 504's discipline protections, such as the right to a manifestation determination review, or MDR.
There are many circumstances where illegal informal exclusions occur, such as when the school tells a parent they cannot bring their child to school or that they must pick their child up early from school or a school activity, like a field trip. When the school places a student on a shortened school day, not through the IEP or 504 process. When the school requires a student to stay home and participate in virtual learning when other students are in person. When the school informs a parent that the school will suspend, expel, or refer the child or the parent to law enforcement or child protective services if the parent doesn't agree to an exclusion, such as picking their child up early from school or placing their child on homebound or modified day. When the school informs the parent that their child cannot attend school due to behaviors unless the parent is present, and when the school tells the parent that the child must stay home until the parent obtains a threat assessment for their child.
It is not uncommon for these informal exclusions to be classified as excused absences, among other terms. However, it is the educational impact on the child rather than the specific words used to describe the removal that matters when determining the school's compliance with the law.
If the school calls you to pick your child up early for behavior reasons, you should always ask for suspension paperwork. You do not have to pick your child up from school unless they are formally suspended. If the school uses any one of the informal exclusions we described, you should document the situation in writing as best as you can. You can send an email to the school confirming what they have said, save your text messages, voicemails, or emails, or use any way you can to document the exclusion. The documentation will help you end up filing a complaint about the issue.
Additionally, the frequent use of short-term disciplinary removals or informal removals of children with disabilities may indicate that the child's IEP does not appropriately address their behavioral needs. If your child is frequently being informally removed from school, you may want to consider asking for an IEP meeting to request a functional behavioral assessment, or FBA, and develop a behavioral intervention plan, or BIP, or revise the BIP if the child already has one.